Big show today, lots to talk about. Alexi Lalas is going to join us live from Russia, talk about the big game yesterday. That was an incredible game. Sarah Kustok is here. She's going to talk Carmelo and Boogie and other one-name superstars. And Eli Manning will open up on Odell Beckham Jr. because we are inching closer to football, and it is very exciting.
Fantastic. Let's do it.
Got a good 3-hour show, so strap in. Start the season based on what you saw from him in year one. What are realistic expectations now for Lonzo Ball this coming season?
I think the only way you can really have realistic expectations is maybe go back and look at some other NBA players, maybe players that you like now, maybe players now that are all NBA players, and you're like, well, I wonder where they were when they were rookies. I remember all the lack of belief in Steph Curry. When he was at Golden State, him and Mark Jackson, that organization at one point, they didn't have the faith in Steph Curry that they had now. Remember Kawhi Leonard as a player in San Antonio, great system, young player on a great team, but it's about development. James Harden, he was a backup at OKC, so sometimes I think that we forget what this NBA is about. First of all, it's about the best basketball in the world. These are the best athletes in the world. So even the star players that come from college, we should have a baked into the equation. They're going to struggle somewhat. This is not what guys do, jump from college to the pro and just dominate. So I expect him to keep developing. I expect us to see a different guy as far as his body, his overall body. I expect him to be a little heavier. His understanding of the game, I think, will only increase. I think his shot will get better. He will be playing with better players. So not only Rondo, LeBron, but the guys he played with last year having another year of chemistry. And also I think sometimes failure, especially when you're young, is the best teacher. And that's what we saw as guys coming into the NBA, and that's what we saw with Lonzo. He couldn't dominate games. He couldn't log long minutes. He had problems with his knee and other things. So understanding what the NBA life is about, but my expectation is to continue, just like those other players, I want to see him grow. I want to see his shooting percentage get higher. I want to see him average around 15, 16 points a game. I like how unselfish he is with the ball, but let's see how the locker rooms change. Let's see how much maturity and leadership that he can show around guys that have been NBA champions, guys that have been superstars for a long time in this league.
I'm really glad you mentioned Steph and Kawhi and Harden, because those three guys specifically, even if they struggled or dealt with injury or weren't immediately super high impact guys, we saw with each of those guys instantly one skill they had that was elite, top of the league level. For Steph, it was shooting. For Kawhi, it was defense. For James Harden, it was isolation scoring. For all those guys had at least one thing that basically the moment they got to the NBA, they did at an all-star level. For Lonzo, that's passing and rebounding as a guard. He is actually a better rebounder as a guard comparatively than he is passer. But I think he has elite passing ability.
Nick, go back to your first time you saw him, because I was with you, and we had heard about Lonzo through high school, knew about the family and everything, but going to Poly Pavilion in Los Angeles to see him play for UCLA, I took away from that, man, you were wildly impressed from the first time.
Because he played an older game than at the time. I think he was 18. It was very early in his freshman year at UCLA. He may have just turned 19, but he played a more mature game than you see from almost anyone in college, much less an early season freshman. He was not worried about keeping the ball in his hands. He was always worried about skipping the ball ahead, keeping the ball moving, and we saw that as a rookie. I would caution people on this when it comes to his counting stats. You mentioned 15, 16 points a game. Last year, the Lakers played the fastest pace in basketball. LeBron's never been on a team that was one of the 10 fastest paces.
Right.
So they will slow down somewhat. So they'll have fewer scoring opportunities. So some of his counting stats might not improve to the level that we thought that we would anticipate. But he was compared coming out of school to Jason Kidd. His rookie year, he had an almost identical rookie year to what Jason Kidd did. I mean, you can look at it right there. Kidd, 1.5 more. Lonzo, a better rebounder, almost a wash on assists, field goal percentage, Kid a little bit better, three-point percentage, Lonzo a little bit better, but very similar. Kid's second year in the league, he gave you 17, 7, and 10. Now, Jason Kidd's one of the 10 best point guards ever, a Hall of Famer. I'm not assigning that to him. But could Lonzo be a 13, 9, and 9 guy that would be 15, 16 if they played at the pace they did last year? Sure. Is he a guy where the field goal percentage is going to go from 36 to 41 and the three-point percentage from 30 to 33? If those things happen, he is on the trajectory that we thought he would be on when he was taken number 2 in the draft.
What does he have to do to get better this year? We talked all last season about his shot, that you both had an issue with the way he was shooting, and that if he really wanted to improve, he was going to have to do that in the offseason and change it. It doesn't look like he's really changed his shot at all, but what is the thing that he needs to do to make his mark as a true, really talented guard, shooting guard?
Well, the Lakers, that's a very good question, because his shooting will be part of the conversation. The Lakers believe that he doesn't have to change his shot. So even if you don't have to change the fundamentals of your shot, the amount of time that you have to shoot the ball and the amount of shots. A lot of NBA players, they have some strange injuries, but you see a lot of them, they'll see the key tape that they use on their shoulder. A lot of guys have shoulder problems because this will be the most basketball they ever shot the basketball. So the routine of shooting the basketball, I believe he has a shooting routine or a regiment that he's getting into now. When you play with better players, it's about taking better shots also. So I believe his shot selection, it will improve. And also, the gravity of having LeBron on the court in a lot of those minutes, so he's going to get some open shots. It's just a matter of him now getting to his spot. I believe he's a better shooter, and I believe the percentages will go up.
And listen, he was, this 57th percentile isn't great, but it's better than those other percentiles. That's where he was on catch and shoot threes, okay? He's going to get more of those because of LeBron. He's going to have fewer off-the-bounce threes. But the thing that I think he needs to improve on more than anything is health. He missed 30 games last year. 30 games as a rookie. So, I think the other things we logically can believe will continue to improve. The health is, to me, the biggest concern with Lonzo is the health. Is the knee. Is the issue, the lingering injury issues in a Western Conference that has a bunch of really tough point guards.
And the other part of this that we'll talk about is where this point guard situation and this combo matches up with others in the West. We will get to that when we talk about this again. But coming up on the